Dead Island is a great example of a game that may be full of jank, especially with its presentation, but it more than shows that if you can bring the fun, then much of the other stuff really doesn't matter. Now yes, I would always prefer a strong presentation, but with this medium being interactive, how fun it actually plays is the most important aspect. To this day, I enjoy many retro titles, and they are not going to have the most modern graphics, but a good gameplay loop can withstand time. That first trailer acted as a bit of a double-edged sword for Dead Island. It got everyone talking about the game and in many cases emotionally invested, but it didn't show any actual gameplay, so many were left with this excellent trailer, and when the gameplay was shown and they were playing it, many were still stuck on that trailer. I can understand this, but especially with this medium, we need to try and separate the marketing from the actual game itself. Marketing can be used to essentially lie or present something out of context in many cases. Most importantly, how is the actual game? You could have a whole discussion on the trailer itself, but today let's talk about the game and why I find it so fun. Dead Island is an open-world, first-person action RPG. Most of the combat is centered around melee combat. It's violent, bloody, and satisfying. Movement is not the most fluid, and this is really seen with many of the ranged weapons. A constant stream of new weapons, mods, and skills keeps the progression addictive. Slicing, smashing, and bashing zombies is so much fun that it's easy to ignore your objective, and ensure that this island is free of all monsters. There's much here to enjoy, from the combat to the progression, exploration, and optional co-op.
You want more?
Let's start out with the basics. Stamina and managing it are the key to combat. Swings, kicks, and other actions will drain your stamina. When you have none, you are vulnerable to being knocked down, and then easily surrounded by your foes. Your main attack will be your swing with whatever weapon you have. Much of your arsenal will be everyday items like hammers, blades, paddles, and other items. The sound effects and impact are very satisfying. Heads, arms, and legs can all be hit off. The visual damage is pretty cool as you see limbs weaken from you hitting them before they break. The kick is a great way to save on your weapon durability and pushing back foes to give you some room, and it's your main stomping tool. Your jump can be used for defense. You can side jump, back jump as a means to dodge. This is where more of the skill comes into play as a means to dodge enemy hits. This is really important for when you're fighting the bigger foes. The dance in combat is keeping your stamina full so that you can attack, dodge, and run if you need to. One thing that never gets old is throwing your weapons. This will drain your durability more, but you do a lot of damage, plus having the advantage of a ranged item. It is comical seeing a big guy with 5 weapons on him, and just remember that you can go up to him and pick them all up again. There are guns, and I've been playing around in the city for a while, and while the guns are nice for those range options, it feels very janky to aim and use, even more so than the melee. Something I really liked about Dead Island is how it provides both directed structure with the gameplay through quests and player-initiated exploration. Quests usually involve some bit of story on the main narrative or various side characters you meet. The tasks themselves are simple, like finding an item, dropping something off, or taking care of some zombies. None of this stuff is gripping from a narrative perspective, but it is worth doing for the gameplay. Plus, the side stuff is a great way to earn more money and mods to expand your options. What really impressed me was that after the short prologue area, you are free to explore the first open world hub area on the beach. I love this. It allowed you to take in the mechanics and game at your pace. Plus, there were plenty of things to stumble across, like additional quests and useful items to find. While Dead Island is older now, this aspect of the game sticks out as a huge highlight. Now, I haven't beaten the game yet, but I do like how the 2 open areas that I have been to are rather different from each other. The beach is a much wider and open area with plenty of room to maneuver around. The city is much more narrow, meaning you are easily surrounded there. Plus, you'll encounter new enemy types and encountering people who actually want to take you out. Dead Island provides a unique flavor to each of these areas, and I appreciate that. As you defeat enemies and complete quests, you'll earn experience points. Once you hit a set amount, you'll level up. It is here where you're given a skill point and can opt to place it into one of 3 trees. One is dedicated to your special move. As you attack enemies, you will build up a rage and can try to increase your combo to earn bonus experience and do more damage. Or you can choose to slot that point into the tree that is more dedicated to your class. For example, I'm using the lady who is good with blades, so skills here increase my proficiency with them from damage, critical hit chance, durability of those weapons as well. And lastly, the final tree is more for passive survival buffs. You have your 4 characters to select from at the start, and each one is better in one area than the others. Like one is better with firearms and another is better with blunt weapons. Now like I said, I haven't beaten the game yet, but it does seem like these classes sort of fit a role. There isn't really a lot of room to diversify with the classes, meaning as the Blades girl, I want to pretty much only use blades to take advantage of those skills, so I wouldn't be using hammers that much. But this is something I want to see how it plays out as I keep going. As of right now, the progression is addictive. Now I need to talk about some of the jank so far. Again, this hasn't really hurt the overall experience, but it is noticeable. One being that there is a level of jank and roughness to the look of the game, especially when it comes to the character models. Some of them look nasty and hilarious. Like so many characters look like their eyes are about to be sucked into their head. I have had some other things happen like floating limbs or enemies getting stuck in the environment. I had one main quest early on that wouldn't let me proceed, but thankfully a quick restart fixed this. One character changed voice actors, or at least sounded like it in between sentences. Again, not bad, and this honestly adds to the entertainment value. Sometimes enemies will just do dumb things, and I'm not giving the developer the excuse that zombies might act this way. And I found the pistol shooting to not be smooth and could use more refinement. And even with all of this stuff, I'm honestly having a very fun time. Dead Island is a fun game. It's also equally janky, especially with its presentation. General movement doesn't feel the smoothest, with the shooting feeling a bit off as well. Thankfully, hacking and slashing never gets old. I'm not done with it yet, but it is the type of game that could use refinement in how it plays in some spots, but it also does a really good job in others. Plus, the exploration is pretty good, along with a steady stream of addictive rewards. It is a title I'm happily taking my time with to go back and beat completely. What are your thoughts on the original Dead Island? Do you like it or hate it? Let me know in the comments below. If you're interested in being notified of new videos, please hit the subscribe button and bell. And if you would like to support the channel and get early access to content, please check out my Patreon. All of the links will be at the end of this video and within the description. And thank you very much for watching.